All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regularly Scheduled Meeting for Tuesday, February the 5th, 2019. If you would, please be sure, other than your emergency response types, silence your phone. So if you're in the emergency response business, you do what you've got to do in order to provide your services. We're going to begin this evening's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Ed Whiting, followed by the invocation from Police Chief Damon McMinn. If you would join us, please.
Please, everybody, face the flag, salute, and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I ask everyone to bow their heads? Dear Heavenly Father, we give all the praise to you, Lord. Lord, we ask that you put your wings around our city and our staff, and Lord, give us the guidance and direction to step into the 21st century. Lord, we ask this all in your Son's name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Chief. All right, Madam Clerk, may we have roll call?
Yes. Mayor Knorr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Eveland.
Here.
And Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
All right, all present accounted for. First item on this evening's agenda is a proclamation for Safe Surrender Baby Awareness Month. And this evening, accepting this proclamation is going to be Heidi Carter Escudero and members of the Kern County Fire Department. So I'm going to read this. Proclamation declaring February 2019 Safe Surrender Baby Awareness Month in Kern County. Whereas the Safety Surrendered Baby Law was first implemented in California on January 1st, 2001, with the intent to prevent harm and possible death to newborns, and whereas the law's intent is to save the lives of newborn infants at risk of abandonment by encouraging parents or persons with lawful custody to safely surrender the infant within 72 hours of birth with no questions asked. And whereas in Kern County there have been 71 babies safely surrendered since 2006. And whereas the Safely Surrendered Baby Coalition, under the coordination of the Department of Human Services, works to educate Kern County residents about this important law. Now therefore, the City Council of the City of Taft does hereby join other cities in proclaiming the month of February 2019 as Safe Surrender Baby Awareness Month in Kern County, dated this 5th day of February 2019, signed by myself and all 4 council members. So, Heidi, if you would please.
We have visuals. There we go. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor Knorr, and all of the Taft City Council members and your city clerk as well for helping make the arrangements for us to receive this proclamation this evening. It's always an honor to come and travel to Taft to share this important message. And I'm just going to highlight some of the statistics again because I think it's really important to just take a moment and consider that number, 71. 71 babies since 2006 have been safely surrendered. So that means that 71 infants that the firefighters didn't get a call out for a baby in a dumpster, or first responders in the city of Bakersfield didn't get a homicide call out on H Street at an auto parts store with a baby in a dumpster. These are real things that have happened. These are occurrences that have happened in our community where the wrong decision was made and an abandonment occurred. So that means 71 times a woman in a crisis situation understood she had the option to walk into any fire station in Kern County, any hospital emergency room, and hand that infant over into the hands of caring individuals like our Kern County firefighters, or to caring staff at a hospital emergency room, and walk away with no questions asked. But they do walk away with a bracelet in their hand. It's a medical ID bracelet. And that medical ID bracelet also gives them 14 days to consider that decision, to ask to see if there are people around them that cared enough, that want to help them, and maybe take them out of that crisis and reclaim that infant. And the reason that's important this year, because in 2018, just last year alone, 8 babies were safely surrendered in Kern County. 3 times the moms came back. And at that point, of course, the Department of Human Services is involved, and we have to ensure the safety of the individual before we can return the infant, but those babies were reclaimed by their moms. And so what that means is, after 13 years of sharing this message with your community and with the whole community of Kern County, we do feel like the message is being heard, that women in crisis truly understand they have this as an option, but more importantly, they understand the law enough to know that if they reconsider, they also have the option to reclaim that baby, which is pretty important. And so it's the work that the Department of Human Services coordinate. It's my privilege to coordinate that as the chair. But I want to take a moment just to recognize our Kern County firefighters we have with us today. Fire Captain Jason Gadberry, and Engineer Monty Hammett, and Firefighter Michael Williams, and also one of our coalition partners, Miss Norma Rhodes, who works with Koinonia Services, which is one of our adoption placement agency services. And it's the work of these fine firefighters, but also all the hospitals who have emergency rooms in Kern County are members of the coalition. And in fact, Memorial Hospital will be hosting our press conference on Thursday in Bakersfield, where we invite the whole community to come out and not just hear from the first responders, but to hear from the nursing staff that are involved with these safe surrenders, these 71 babies and lives that have been saved. And also we get to hear from one of the families that had the privilege and honor of adopting one of those safely surrendered babies, because when the families don't come back, when the moms don't come back to reclaim, all of those babies are immediately placed into loving, waiting adoptive homes here in Kern County. And so it's not only a courageous decision, but then it's another family being completed through the process of adoption. And so I thank you personally, the whole coalition thanks you, and I just really am grateful that you allow us to come and proclaim Safely Surrendered Baby Awareness Month here in Taft. And I want to recognize the other cities that are joining you tonight. We have another crew over in Shafter. We started in Delano last night. We'll be heading to Ridgecrest. Yes, we will be heading to Ridgecrest. And Arvin.
Take warm clothes.
Yes, it will warm clothes for the drive. And of course, the County of Kern. So thank you so much for being a part of this program.
Well, thank you very much. Any council member have any specific questions for Heidi regarding that?
You said 3 actually returned. Is that 3 out of 71 since inception?
The total number that have been reclaimed since 2006 has been 6. So up until last year, it was just a handful. But last year, we had a significant change in the trend where 3 of those families did come back and reclaim the babies. And I do think it has a lot to do with that we are getting the message out, that the women are fully informed about their decision, and then have also that opportunity to come back and reclaim their baby and be surrounded by support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sure.
No? All right.
Thank you,
I'm going to deliver this.
Thank you.
Get everybody in here. Come on over here. We got enough room for all you fine folks. All right. Get everybody. Grab a hold of it.
Here, we'll step over one step to the north.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and see us. Thank you for all your efforts. I know that it's life-saving in a wonderful way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Can everybody can clap for these people right now? Okay. Next up, item number 2. Citizens request public comments. This is the time and place for the general public to address the City Council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the Council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit comments to as many minutes as you want, Dr. Orrin. No, that's not exactly how it goes, but Dr. Kathy Orrin from the Chamber is going to address the council.
Good evening. Well, congratulations to the new members of the council. This is the first time I've seen the new council, and you look very council-like. So, congratulations. I always want to say chief. What do you do with that? There's two chiefs in the room.
Chief council member.
Chief council.
Chief council.
And Mr. Evelyn, I'm not sure of your rank. Are you?
Sergeant.
Sergeant. All right.
I guess that's a thing. Sergeant council member.
Wow, that's kind of complicated.
Call him Colonel or General, either one will answer.
Wow. Well,
whatever.
I am looking forward to as good a relationship with this council as we have enjoyed at the Chamber in the past, and we appreciate your support. I have nothing to implore you to attend tonight, but I want to say thank you to those out in TV land that attended, and of course Mayor Knorr. We had a wonderful time at our installation and awards event last week, and good job on the Oil Dorado room and the Transit Center. We used that, and it did beautifully. I have some ideas about impending rain and what we should maybe look forward to in the case of the rain not stopping, as it so wonderfully did the other night. But I have to tell you, it's a beautiful room, a beautiful facility, and we were thrilled to be able to show it off. I just want to mention for everybody that these are the folks that were given awards, and in case you are living under a rock and don't know that, Businessman of the Year was Rich Miller of Roger Miller Insurance. Businesswoman of the Year was Dominique Payne of OT Cookhouse. The Business of the Year was Roots Barbecue, and Roots Eatery is what their name is. The new Business of the Year, and it's the first time we've ever had this category, was Hey Girl, Go Fly. And they're wonderful, and you can catch them online, on Facebook, excuse me. They're a hoot. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that. Volunteer of the Year is Jan Ashley. Community Service Award went to Carlos Chavera of Flacos Tacos, and he insisted that his entire family be awarded that, and they were. The Youth Leadership Awards went to Jonah Armstrong, Bryson Ginn, and McKinley Westcott of Taft Union High School. So we had a wonderful showing. It was a great time. Diamond X Barbecue outdid themselves, and of course the Petroleum Club outdid themselves also. So many people to thank. As soon as you start thanking, you get in trouble. But I wanted to thank you for your support of the Chamber, and we look forward to another wonderful year. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I was fortunate enough to be invited to that, and all one need to do to get invited is buy a table. So if you didn't buy a table this year, buy a table next year, because it was well attended. It was a wonderful affair, and you really highlighted, you and your staff, the opportunity that is the venue, the Oil Dorado room. It was well used, and everybody who was there was talking about not just what a wonderful building and facility it is, but what a great job you and your staff did of putting it together. It was a grand time had by all. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so thank you very much. All right, next up, item number 3, council statements, non-action. Councilman Evelyn, I'm going to begin this evening with you, sir.
None.
All righty. Councilman Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to piggyback real quick off what Kathy said, everyone that was nominated and everyone that received awards is definitely deserving. You know, I'm fortunate enough to call a couple of those folks not only colleagues but friends. The youth that were awarded, I think that's a fantastic thing. I get to see those kids in action every day by virtue of my position at the high school. And I'm sure that there are other kids more deserving, but those kids were not more deserving, deserving. Those kids are service and youth in action in a very positive way, and I'm very, very happy to see that. But to folks like Dominique and Otis, and Rich at Miller's Insurance. Those folks have been stalwarts of this community economically for a long, long time. And I want to say on behalf of myself, and I'm sure on behalf of the rest of the council, thank you for your commitment over the long term to the city of Taft and the residents here. Because folks took a chance and have realized that dream and have invested over and over, not only in their business, but in their employees. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the new folks, Hey Girl, Go Fly and Roots, those people took that same first step only more recently. And they're shining examples of what just a little bit of pride and a lot of hard work can do. And that trickles down to each and every one of us. And I cannot be more thankful for those folks and their investment in us. So Kathy, to you and Shannon and your staff at the Chamber, thank you. I apologize I wasn't able to make it. And to the award winners, congratulations. I want to welcome our new building inspector. I hope we didn't give you too much of a hard time back there in the back, but I hope it was jovial enough to give you good stuff to look forward to in the future, and we look forward to your hard work on behalf of the city. And I was fortunate enough to attend the State of the County dinner last week. It was nice. It was nice to hear Supervisor Couch speak. There's not a person I think that commands the room better than David. And no offense to our supervisor, Zach. Zach's a very good speaker and a very knowledgeable representative. But it's always nice to have old faces get up there and do a little speaking and to really turn the thing back around on us and ask us what can each and every one of us do as an individual to impact our community, because the time, just like he said, is now. So it's incumbent upon us as the council to act. It's incumbent upon the constituents to buy in and to also do your part. And I look forward to being a good part of that. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Whiting.
No statements. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to echo the sentiments of Councilman Josh Bryant. Well said about the chamber and the events that happen and things, and about the county. State of the County addressed by David Cowles. He did an excellent job, and it's up to all of us as citizens and also as officials. What can we do to make us more efficient? What suggestions do the public have to give to us as a city here in Taft and to the county? What can we do to make those areas more efficient in a positive way? Constructive criticism is always good, and that was a good message that Dave gave to us. And last week we installed new officers at the Fort at an event. It was very well attended there. We awarded the Sharpness Club for the job they did for the community. They, as an organization that gives back to the community, they give free rides to people who need dialysis and stuff. It don't cost anything to them. It pays for transportation, and they also helped out in our at the fort in our fundraiser for the weddings for our bridal suite. They redid that, remodeled it, and at a savings to the fort. They did a really good job there. Also, I encourage the veterans to sign up for the American Legion. $40 a year. Go there and be part of the Legion. It's growing. I go there every so often, and they also have membership for Friends of the Legion. If anybody that's not a veteran want to be a friend of the Legion, they sign up and they get their own card, and they get go there and enjoy themselves and the different events they have there going on. And also going on right now, the Girl Scouts got their cookie fundraiser. So you see these girls running around in different streets and stuff, asking for money for cookies and stuff. Support them. They're our future, and I encourage that. That's all I have to say, Mayor.
All right, thanks, sir. I have nothing this evening, so we'll move forward. Item number 4, Planning Commission report. Do I have a Planning Commission? There he is.
He's just hiding in the back room. It was a fairly light agenda for our first Planning Commission meeting of the year, no surprise. We had 2 items. One we continued. It's the sign ordinance. And I don't envy both our planning director and Jason the amount of work that's taking to get that right. The recent court cases that have come down have made it a new game on how you regulate signs. So we'll be seeing that again a little bit later. You'll also be receiving our second item, which comes annually, which is the annual report to the State Housing Authority. It's just an annual report that we recommend to you folks to approve. And in this case, it outlines what new things we did last year or didn't. We didn't have, I don't think we had any rehabs anything actually significant. So only the construction that Colson has been doing really showed up on the report this year. And that was it. Like I said, light.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming forward. Any other department reports?
Yes, sir.
All right. Chief McMinn.
Councilpersons. Jason, how are you? Glad you're back, Yvette. Missed you a lot, of course. You're the glue that holds us all together. We know that. I'm going to give you the statistics for 2 months since we didn't have one on the 1st of January because of the holidays. So these will be for December statistics for the police department. We did have total incidents of 794. Calls for service for the officers were 401. And self-initiated by the officers with 393. We did have 120 written reports. We had 62 misdemeanor and felony arrests. We had 55 misdemeanor arrests and 7 felony arrests, with total citations at 53 for the month of December. And the month of January, let's see, up a little bit. Total incidents were 813. Calls for service were 376. Officers initiated calls, of course we understand that, is 437, so they're out doing their job and doing the things that prosper in our city. 129 written reports, 76 total misdemeanor and felony arrests, with 64 misdemeanors and 12 felony arrests. We also had total citations come up a little bit to 64. So. Any questions?
Can I ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Sure. Yes, please.
When it comes to arrest, I'd like you maybe elaborate a little bit on it. Under the current system, an arrest might be, hey, I'm taking you into custody, giving you a ticket, and it's cite and release, right?
That's an arrest, absolutely.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to confirm and make that very apparent.
Could I say one thing?
Sure.
Yes, please.
I don't know if these numbers make sense to a lot of people, but in a community this size, the kind of proactivity that the chief is explaining to us right now is actually very impressive for a small department like that. And I don't know if you know, it's not like I was there to say, hey, this is this and this and this, but I can tell you just by the numbers, this is pretty impressive with the proactivity that's going on in this.
Thank you, sir. They're out doing their job, and I have a very capable staff. I really do, and you know, they're going out and making this place safer, and that's their job. That's why we pay them. And they understand that they're you know, you pay for a product, and they're out there improving on it every day. I'm very proud of them.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Thanks to your entire team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next up, City Manager statement. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I have some information on the recent news of Spectrum office closing here in Taft. As everybody knows, the local channel's been around as long as we could probably all remember on cable TV. Our meetings here are televised, I believe, 2 times during the week after our council meetings here. When they announced the closure, we contacted them and said, how are we going to continue the local channel, because the equipment for the local channel is in the office up there. We work together, and they are providing, at no cost to the city, fiber to the building here at City Hall, and they're going to provide the equipment for us to continue to air the council meetings on the local channel. We will have control of the local channel here at City Hall.
Good job. That's very nice. Sorry to see them exit the community, but that's a very nice gesture.
We do have the capability after the council meetings for folks to watch the council meetings online on their computer, but a lot of folks don't do it that way. They prefer to watch it on TV. And we know that because when there's been hiccups and they didn't air, people call us. So there are a lot of people watching the council meetings. So we want to keep that going for the citizens here that can't get out or don't want to get out, but want to stay up on what's going on. So hopefully there's not a gap in service. We're trying to make that happen. They're currently starting construction on the fiber this week, I think. So just wanted to let everybody know. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right. Thank you very much. City Attorney's statements. Jason.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No statement.
All righty. Item number 8, future agenda requests. Do we have any future agenda requests this evening?
None here.
All right.
Mr. Mayor.
None? All right, moving forward then. Next up, consent calendar items 9 through 15. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Seeing none. Those items are item number 9, the minutes for the January 15th meeting of the City Council. Item number 10, payment of bills, some $1.3 million. Item number 11, revised recognized obligation payment schedule, ROPS 1920, for July 2019 through June 2020. Recommendation there is a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Successor Agency to the Taft Community Development Agency of the City of Taft, approving and adopting a recognized obligation payment schedule for the period July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020, pursuant to the provisions set forth in Health and Safety Code Section 34177J, AB 1X26. Secondly, to direct staff to present the ROPS 1920 to the Countywide Oversight Board for approval. Item number 12 would be the Memorandum of Understanding with Accelerated Environmental Services. Recommendation is a motion to approve a Memorandum of Understanding with Accelerated Environmental Services regarding the use of the roof side of the City of Taft Police Department building for the use of an antenna. Item number 13, disability retirement, police officer. Recommendation there is a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft making the determination that Mark Miller is disabled for the purpose of the Public Employees Retirement Law. Item number 14, out-of-state travel, Human Resources Leadership Summit. Recommendation is to authorize Lon Boyer, Director of Human Resources, Assistant City Manager, to attend the Connect Human Resources Leadership Summit in Las Vegas, Nevada, April 14th through 16th, 2019. I'll add, at no cost to the city. Item 15, contract for general engineering services. Recommendation is a motion to approve contract with BHT Engineering, Inc. for plan checks and general engineering services. Do any members of the council wish to remove any of the items from the consent calendar? All right, hearing none. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 9 through 15.
Motion.
Second.
A motion, a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant.
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn.
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting.
Yes, as to items number 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, and 15, because the officer mentioned in item number 13 was working for me when I was the chief back in 2017, I must abstain from that agenda item.
So you are abstaining from item 13.
13.
Okay. And Mayor Knorr.
Yes. That's approved on the 5-0 line with Councilman Ed Whiting abstaining from item 13. Thank you very much. All right. At this time, we're going to go into closed session for item A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9B, one potential case. Item B, conference with real property negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54956.8, 308 Church Street, Taft, California 93268. Item C, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9A, Taft Union High School versus City of Taft. And finally, item D, conference with real property negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54956.8, APN number 032-110-30. Okay. Prior to leaving the bench, however, we have some unfinished business. So,
Okay. I open up the Taft Public Financing Authority annual meeting agenda, February 5th, 2019, and the time is 6:30. Do roll call.
Chairman Marshall Cryer.
Here.
Members of the board, Josh Bryant.
Here.
Jeff Evelyn.
Here.
Dave Knorr.
here.
And Ed Whiting.
Here.
This meeting is a seating of new directors, and I will turn it over to the Secretary of the Authority. It will be Councilman Josh Bryant in the reading.
All right, so the recommended action is that myself, Josh Bryant, new council members Ed Whiting and Jeff Eland were elected to the City Council, the City of Taft, and were duly seated as members of the City Council in the December 2018 meeting. Article 2, Section 2 of the Authority bylaws provide, among other things, that A, directors shall be members of the City Council of the City of Taft. B, directors shall hold office for a term that is coextensive with their respective terms as members of the City Council. Is that a typo? D? Doesn't matter. Each appointed director shall hold office until the expiration of the term for which appointed or until a successor has been appointed by the city. So myself, Mr. Whiting, and Mr. Eveland have executed the oath of office as members of the City Council and are hereby declared seated as directors of the Taft Public Financing Authority.
So now we'll open it up to election of officers. Open it up to recommendation. So,
Nominate Mr. Cryer to be the chairman once again.
I would second that.
Councilman Evelyn?
Hearing no other nominations.
Hearing no nomination, we'll close the nomination.
Perfect.
Okay. Need a vice chair.
Okay, need a vice chair.
Yeah, I would it's open for vice chairman. Nomination, I would nominate Josh Bryant as vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Secretary?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Evelyn.
I'll second that.
Treasurer?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Knorr.
I would not, yeah, he'd be perfect for that.
Couldn't have played that any better.
Well, I thank you very much. I'll accept that.
Okay. So we have a recommendation. Myself as chairman, Josh as vice chairman, secretary be Councilman Evelyn, and our mayor Knorr will be our treasurer. I close it, and then we'll come to a vote. All in favor? Or I guess, or
Aye.
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 opposed? I think the ayes have it.
All right, very good.
Okay, so I need to do the citizens' request for public comments. At this time and place for the general public to address the authority on matters within their control, state law prohibits the authority from addressing any issues not previously included on the agenda. Authority may receive comment and set the matters for a later meeting. Please limit comments to 5 minutes. Anybody in the audience have any comments? I see none. Closed the comment period. Consent calendar for items 4 through 5. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a board member of the authority requests specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate actions. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business meetings. Or approval of minutes, August 21st, 2018 annual meeting. Recommendation, approved as submitted. Number 5, Taft Public Finance Authority established regular meeting dates. Recommendation, motion to adopt resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Taft Public Financing Authority Establishing Regular Meeting Dates." 2, authorize the officers of the authority to take all actions necessary to implement the purpose of such resolution.
I would make the motion to approve consent calendar items 4 and 5.
Second.
I'll make that motion to approve items 4 and 5. Do we have a motion? Josh? Have a second?
Second.
Councilman Evelyn. Roll call. Or discussions?
I believe that the new council members are going to have to abstain from item number 4, as they were not a part of that meeting.
That's true.
That's correct.
Okay, but they can vote on item number 5. So I think you're going to have to separate those.
I can.
Would it be easier? Or can they just say yes and abstain from item 4?
They can just say yes and abstain.
Okay, very good then. Well then, sir, you may go ahead and ask for a roll call vote.
I ask for a roll call vote.
Chairman Cryer,
Yes.
member of the board Bryant,
Yes.
Eveland,
Yes, abstaining from 4.
Knorr,
Yes.
and Whiting.
Yes, abstain from 4.
And I pass on 5-0 on 5 and 3 with 2 abstaining on number 4. And I
Need a motion to adjourn.
need a motion to adjourn the Taft Public Finance Authority.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion, and second to close, and voice, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Adjourn the meeting.
All right, thank you.
I'm getting used to this.
Okay, we have already adjourned the city council meeting in closed session. I want to thank everybody for being here and being part of it. Drive careful. It is wintry out there again.